The BESSEY multi-angle vise set is easy to use no matter how big your shop is, yet it's built industrial tough to last a long time. The vices are mounted on this cast iron base that makes it easy to mount this system to the work surface. The U-shaped pressure jaw lets you clamp material securely, yet have room to work around the joint. The pressure jaw is mounted on a pivot, so if the material varies in thickness a little bit, it won't have any effect on clamping. The Acme-style threading on the spindle has proven itself to be bulletproof in the workplace, yet easy to use. The copper helps the spindle resist contamination, including welding BBs. Each of the clamping assemblies is mounted on a pivot that lets you turn it to whatever angle is needed for the job. The hex-headed bolt below the spindle shaft is used to lock that clamp in whatever position you need. And once locked in place with this bolt, the clamp stays where you put it. This really is the first time I tried setting up these pieces with an angle cut, and the BESSEY multi-angle vise set really is this easy to use. BESSEY just has a knack for making tools that are tougher than they have to be, yet easier to use than they could be. I just don't see how you could have a tough time using this tool. And after getting the vices in a position I want, we just snug down the locking bolts and keep everything where we put it. I like being able to make sure that the setup isn't going to change while we're getting anything else ready, but this will be really handy in a production setting. And with everything held in place, you still have room to get in with a grinder or whatever you need to prep the joint for finishing. The BESSEY multi-angle vise set is made to be worked with, and you can go ahead and weld the pieces together right there. And all of the welding BBs I found brushed right off. So if your work means trying to hold pieces together for welding or other operations, you need to consider the BESSEY multi-angle vise set. This isn't a cheap tool, but its durability means that it's going to be a great value for a lot of years to come. And if you don't use the multi-angle vise set in its original configuration all the time, you can break it down. Just back out the locking screw. You can actually remove the locking bolt. And you can lift the individual vices off of the base and use them separately. Then you can use one or both of the vices on the bench, on a drill press, or wherever you may need to clamp something. And that capability gives the BESSEY multi-angle vise set even more utility in the shop.